Good morning. I'm on Thursday, February 1st, 2024. I got the kettle going. It is 5:47 in the morning. I'm probably pretty close to the mic, but that's all good. I'm just here to say hello. Just here to say hello and figure out what we're going to talk about. Coffee wise. Yeah. Just have to take some water. I've been doing okay with the water, I guess, which is all good. Right. So how's the day going for me? It is early, so it's going well. Again, I think I talked about this before, but my dog is in a different realm right now. She just wakes me up to get me up. She doesn't I don't understand it. I really don't understand why she does what she does. But it is something that I need to get her out of the habit of, so to speak. So yeah. So I don't know if that makes any sense or if I'm making any sense right now. There's kettles going right now, so it's pretty loud. So, coffee. Let's talk about coffee real quick. What are we going to talk about in regards to coffee? Because I know I randomly talk about other stuff that's kind of related to the coffee business and all that good stuff, but coffee wise, um, I think it's worth bringing up the Kenyan coffee, right? So, what about the Kenyan coffee? It's okay. Hey, boy, how you doing? What do I think about this Kenyan coffee, double fermented? I'm assuming so, as they always say, too. Double washed. It's okay. It's simply just okay. I don't know if that's me roasting it a certain way. I think I will figure that out soon, hopefully. But it is not speaking to me, and it's something that I talked about a little bit in one of my other readings, recordings, or whatnot. Is that the coffee isn't so much of the problem. It is a problem, okay? Don't get me wrong, the coffee is a problem, but it's all about how do you give it to another person for their satisfactions, their expectations, right? I think that's where it comes down to. A lot of the coffees I do have, they're reasonably priced, and it's something that I don't have an issue conveying to people, and I don't have an issue or feel bad about selling it to people because I know some good stuff, and I didn't pay an arm and a leg for it on my end. I mean, yes, this is on my end. This is just the way I do it, but a lot of prices that I do have on my website, I keep the coffees the same. It's easier, a little bit easier that way for me. But in truth, I shouldn't do that. But it doesn't really matter because if I paid this much for this coffee, that's where the price difference comes from, really. It's like how much you pay for it. You may see certain things, me as a roaster may see certain things in a coffee that speaks to me. But if it doesn't necessarily speak to you, you won't really justify paying that much money for a cup of coffee. Or you may pay for it once and you may not pay for it again, you know? It just wouldn't be your cup of tea, so to speak, something that you're used to. And I think that's really what it comes down to. People are used to what they're used to, right? And I don't think they don't want to venture out into doing something different or tasting something different. It's That's the thing about this. It's people, it's psychology, it's comfort level. And think about this. It's one of those things that I've come to realize is that selling coffee or selling anything is a very hard proposition. The reason why is because people are used to what they're used to. They do certain things throughout the day. They have their comfort levels. They take the same route to work. They probably even pee and eat at the same time too. So to wiggle somebody out of that routine will be extremely hard no matter what you're selling. That's one of the things that I realized too about the farmers market, for instance. And now as I venture off into the marketplace and Amazon, I'll tell you more about that. How's that coming along? Is that somebody comes into a place to buy things. You can even use the grocery store to an extent. The grocery store is probably a better example. Most people are not going into the store to just buy one thing. They're buying multiple things for their daily, weekly, or monthly supply of goods. So you are competing against other people's dollars, so to speak. I mean, you're not necessarily competing against milk, but yeah, you are competing against other items that are very similar, like coffee, and people are wondering why they're paying what they're paying, right? So people are so used to doing the same thing and not necessarily rocking that boat that you're going to have a hard time convincing them otherwise. And now as you introduce people, normal people, to different things than they're used to, that's going to be hard to swallow. That's going to be hard to do. And don't get me wrong, I think people are more adventurous as they come around, right? But in truth, people are very simple people. And they like what they like. So even if you do have something that's similar, that talks to them, it better be enough to interrupt their daily rituals, their buying habits, and all that stuff. That's one of the reasons. What's up? Okay. Yeah, I know. It's almost 6. and I think that's the reason why I'm a big advocate, even though it's been hell on earth for me to get onto Amazon, to start selling on Amazon, competing against all the other coffee beans on Amazon. And of course, I have my ways to go about trying to get coffee to other people. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things to where you're dealing with folks that are accustomed to doing things in a certain way. Same with me, I do things a certain way. I know for the most part, if I go to the grocery store, one of the first sections I'm going to is the meat aisle. I'm going to look for brisket. I'm going to see if it's on sale. And I'm going to start checking out other meats and all that. And then I go to the vegetable and fruit aisle. I have particular items that I usually get. And then once all that's said and done, then I go to the middle aisle where I get spaghetti sauce, some sauces and all that stuff. And I'm good to go. I go in there, I have a particular route depending on the store that I go in, and I do what I do. Same thing when I drive my car. I have to make sure that, you know, gas is full, it's filled up. I have to make sure that the mirrors are turned the right way. And I check to see if I have enough air into the tires. Stuff like that, it's we are used to our routines, and when it comes to giving somebody a different experience, which is key, which is important, but it can't be so out the way to where it doesn't make sense, or it gets them in a way to where they are going to have a hard time wanting to keep buying, keep trying, keep testing things out, So that's the saga. That's the thing that will have to get ironed out as I do this. But it brings me back into what I'm talking about in this whole thing with this Kenyan coffee. It's getting people to trust you, to go on this journey, this different path for a particular amount of time. I don't know if that's me more so struggling with that, with that knowledge or that logic, but I really do think about it quite a bit, because most of my clientele, most of the customers that I deal with, they like it to be consistent. They like it to be something that they have tried, and they don't really want to change it. Yeah, from time to time they do want to change it, but for the most part they don't. They're used to what they're doing, and it's not so much that you're trying to get them to try different things. You just want them to be happy every single time that they go with what they're going with from you. It's the familiarity. I can't even say that word right. That's pretty bad. It's the thing that we feel comfortable with day in and day out, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that struggles and deals with that all the time. I know that there are times where I need to go about this in a different manner. But as of right now, I will continue to figure this out. And I think on the scale and around that I'm going to do this, it's going to make more sense, especially the type of coffee, the introduction of the coffee that I will put on Amazon. It's the easy drinker, medium roast, dark roast. And it's quite compelling, actually, how simple but tasty and in different applications that you can have this coffee. So that's where I'm at with this. And it's pretty cool to know that I am getting closer to really testing out things. Like, for instance, right now I'm in the process of finalizing my listing, and I started to do some copy editing for my listing descriptions. And it's scary. And of course, I'm drawing inspiration or ideas from other coffee brands that are already out there, and it has ratings and all that good stuff, right? But now it's time for me to put it into action, get into the field, and to actually get some reps in, try different things, try different copy, get the coffee out there more, and really get into the action of putting myself truly out there. Like this whole YouTube thing, it's all about reps in the ring, and that's where I'm at with a lot of this stuff. And that's pretty cool that now I get to truly really practice. Right now I'm doing all the red tape stuff and making sure I'm above board and things are looking the way they are looking, but I won't really know what I'm into or things I would tweak until I get into the game. So that's where we're at with that. And it's a pretty cool way to kind of be. It is scary, but that's the only way to really grow and see where things are going, right? And this is, I wouldn't say this is a cop out or anything like this, but one of the things I am looking forward to when it comes to um, the whole ecosystem of me putting out the brand is that the opportunities that I will get to make money, make a income for my family is diversifying, meaning that it is going to still be 100% copyright, but it's going to be different ways to show people the importance of different things in different ways. So, for instance, right now I have the podcast. I will be writing more, so I'll be blogging so people can read if they want to read. Um, and then YouTube. YouTube is going to be a big thing. And then later on this year, I'll do a couple freebies that I'm working on with flavor notes to help people identify flavor notes. And then, of course, I'll be diving into the realm of coffee drinks, which let's talk about that real quick. But let me finish what I'm trying to say. And of course, coffee roasting, right? Selling bags to people. And the beauty of all this stuff and whatever else I figure out as I go into this rabbit hole is that there's going to be different ways for the business to be sustainable. Yes, it is 100% dependent on myself, but that's okay. I don't mind that because that's how most businesses are, right? That's how they start. If the owner, so to speak, dies or stops, it stops too. And that's fine. But I guess what I'm saying is that it's cool to have these avenues to where I haven't talked about affiliate marketing or any of the other stuff that can generate other stuff for the business, right? But it's cool to be in a place to where I'm staying laser focused on coffee, all things and everything, mostly coffee. And as you keep going and understand what's going on, that's where I'm at with this. That's where it will make sense as I figure out what needs to go on. And yeah, so that's the cool thing, right? But as I was talking about earlier, I think I forgot my train of thought was that this is going to be exciting, new world, and it's going to be a place to where I really get to understand who and what I'm dealing with and how it's going to change and affect what I do in all of this. So, with that being said, what have I been up to? What am I talking about? The Amazon stuff. Well, the listings, the pictures are done. I will move into the copy of the listings. I'll more so work on that again this week, and I will put something out more likely Sunday, and then once that is done, my listings will be live, and then I will still work with my brand registry situation, and I have a representative helping me out, so that's been helpful. So yeah, so that's what's going on with Amazon. Amazon is starting to now look like something that's viable. And then we'll keep working the system and get better and put those reps in the tank, right? So that's what's going on. And I'm really I got a big order in last night, so I'll be working on that later today. And I'm really hopefully get back to tasting these coffees in a way to where they excite me again. Lately they haven't been. I don't know if it's because the Kenyan is clouding that judgment, but but that's what we got going. So I'm looking forward to the single origins, the medium roast, even some of the dark roast talking to me in a way to where I'm like, that's it. That's tasty. That's exactly what I want to have, to taste and to drink. And I do hope that it does come together a lot more. But it will. It will. We just have to constantly push and prod and get better and understand what is out there and what makes sense. So that's what I got going. Not so much of a topic, really. Not so much about rituals and what I'm tasting and all that stuff. The offices coming, studio offices coming along pretty well. I do have some stuff up on the wall, which is cool. But yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. That's what's going on, and I will hope to talk to you soon on Sunday. So talk to you later. Bye.